Welcome back to the Tutoring Hub. So today's video, we will be constructing some bar chart. It's also called bar graph. So let's go. So a bar graph can be defined as a chart or a graphical representation of data, quantities, or numbers using bars or strips. Bar graphs are used to compare and contrast numbers, frequencies, and other measures of distinct categories of data. One bar is used to represent the frequency for each category. For a vertical bar graph, the bars are usually positioned vertically with their bases located on the horizontal axis of the graph. While for a horizontal bar graph, the bars are usually positioned horizontally with their bases located on the vertical axis of the graph. So the bars should be the same width and each bar is separated. So here we have our first example, and it says that the number of persons who like different sports is shown in the table below. So we have football, cricket, track and field, and netball. We're asked to construct a vertical bar graph to represent the data. So when constructing bar graphs, you will need a graph sheet. So to ensure that it is drawn accurately, you'll also need a pencil and a ruler. So the first thing that we need to do is to draw our X and our Y axis. Okay, so let's just go ahead and sketch a little bar graph. So it's a vertical bar graph, so we know that our bars will be vertical. So it will look something like this. Something like that, and then our X, so this is our X axis, this is our Y axis. So on our X axis or our horizontal axis, it will have the different categories. So we'll have football, we'll have cricket, track and field, and netball. So this is a different type of sports. So let's go and construct our axes. So now we're going to think about the width of our bars, as well as what space do we want on in between our bars. So let's go. So we are going to skip 2 units. So our first bar would start right here to right here. So that would be football. Then we'd skip 2 more units, and then our next bar would be right here to right here. We skip 2 more units. Our next bar would be right here and right here. And our final bar will be here to here. So we're just going to go and put in the labels. So there we go. We're going to label our axes. So we're finished with our horizontal axis. We're going to go to our vertical axis. So we need now to think. So we don't want our bar chart to be, too small. We want it to cover as much distance on our graph, so it will be good enough visually. So you need to think about your scale. So either you're going to say 1 unit, I'm going to count up by 5 or 10 or 15. So it depends on the values that you have, your frequency, right? So we see that the highest frequency here is 50. So if I count up by 10, for every 2 units, then that would be good enough. So this is 2 units, so this will be 0 right here, and 50. That's the scale that I'm going to use. So we're going to go ahead and construct our bars. So let's go. So there we go. So we have our bars. So normally it's good when you kind of do something to highlight the bars. So we can draw strokes through the bars so persons can easily see where the bars are. Or you can maybe do some asterisks or some dots, polka dots, it's all up to you. So I'm using these lines or streaks. And the final thing is to write your title. The title should be in all caps. So your title should be a description of what the bar is representing. So there we go. So you have your bars, which are the same width, and you have the same distance in between the bars. So in this case, I chose 2 units for the distance and 2 units for the width. I labeled my axes. I did not label my axes. So ensure that your axes are labeled. So for the y-axis, it would be number of persons. There we go. So our bar chart is complete. So we have our title, we have our bars, we have our axes being labeled, and just like that, you have just represented your data using a vertical bar graph. Let's go to our second example. It says that the table shows a number of driving tests taken by a number of students before they pass the test. Show the information on a horizontal bar chart. So let's do a little sketch. So with a horizontal, we know that the bars are on the vertical axis. So I would know that the categories would be on the vertical axis. So we'd have our 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, and then here we'd have our frequency. So this is just a little sketch to give us an idea of how our bar chart would look. So now I'm going to turn my paper, just as how the paper is right here. I'm going to go ahead and construct our horizontal bar chart. So it's the same as before, only difference is that we interchange where we put the information on the axis and how the bars are set. So that's the only difference, everything else remains the same. So let's go. So those are the steps in constructing a vertical and a horizontal bar graph. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more educational content.